Mahomes' deal. Quarterback contracts keep going up. Trevor got a new deal. Tua got a new deal. Jordan Love got a new deal. Meanwhile, best quarterback playing, sitting back watching it all happen. Here's Mahomes to Jarrett Bell of USA Today. Every time a contract comes up, everybody looks at my average per year and everything like that. I'm doing pretty well myself. I think we do a great job at managing my money to be able to pay me a lot and keep a good team around me. Huh. Pretty much the ultimate team guy. Yeah. How underpaid is Mahomes, Nick?
All right, so Mahomes' contract is one of the most misunderstood contracts in all of sports. So first, let me say this on the front end. If he wanted to, he could hold out every year. Every single year before training camp started, he could be like, hey guys, just so you know, I'm not showing up until I am the high, who makes the most this year? All right, I want $1 more. And the team would have no choice but to give it to him. Yeah. And it would, by the way, still be a huge bargain.
Right.
The gap between him and whomever the second best player in the league is all-pro wide receiver. So that's $30 million. He makes up that difference. And so it is to the Chiefs' benefit that he does not act like that. And by the way, the players who have been in that position prior to him didn't act like that either. There was a time when Aaron could have done that, when Tom could have done that, Peyton could have done that. None of them did it, where they literally every year was like, you have to pay me more, you have to pay me more. But the reason I said Patrick's contract is misunderstood is everyone focuses on the $45 million a year. But because it's a 10-year deal, they move the money around at will, which is why I will give Florio, my friend, media ombudsman, also means at times I have to give credit, Florio, for pointing out this fact. From 2023 to 2026, cash in pocket, who's got the best? Patrick. All right, so that, and by the way, keep in mind, you see Daniel Jones on there, that's assuming you get all 4 of those years, right? So then let's start this year for the next 4 years, moving forward. With all these new deals that came in, it's still Patrick, because the Chiefs did adjust it last year. So I think him being just slightly the highest paid is wildly underpaid, but it is not accurate to say he's, 14th in the league, because they have moved a lot of the money up, and they're never going to make him play for $20 million at the end of the deal. So does that?
So what happens at the end of the deal?
Well, right now at the end of the deal, he would be averaging probably like $28 million. But you know what they'll do? They'll give him a new deal. And so I know NFL contracts are convoluted, but that's what's going on.
I mean, look, obviously he should be the highest paid, not just NFL, he should be the highest paid athlete in sports. I mean, he is the only one in the top 3 sports that's winning it like consistently.
Yes.
I think Ronaldo's making like.
Well, I mean, football, basketball, baseball, American sports. Like he's
more
winning,
than Ohtani.
He's got a chance to win it every year. Okay. Patrick Mahomes has his head screwed on right. All right. The happiest people aren't those that fret over every little dollar. I've got to be the highest paid. Obviously, Tom Brady didn't do that. And still, even all the money Brady left on the table with the Patriots, he still retired as the highest paid NFL player ever. All right, made the most money. Now that's not the case, but it was when he retired. And would you rather make, and I know like Nick did a good job of explaining it, but would you rather make $45 million a year where your children's children are going to have more money than they can ever spend and have 5 or 6 Super Bowl rings, or make $55 million a year and have 3 Super Bowl rings? Like, I think he understands what's in 45. Can you do anything with $55 million you can't do with $45 million? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So
I think
he's got his head screwed on straight. I'm not saying you don't want money, but he's making a ton of money, and he said that.
Yeah, look, I don't say this very often, but Nick is absolutely right. It's about the guaranteed money.
You actually say it all the time. You just always preface it with I don't say it a lot, but you find yourself saying it.
It is about the guaranteed money, and it is about the cash in hand, and both of those are skewed towards Patrick, and he could hold out every year, and it is justifiable if he did, and he should be the highest paid. All those things are absolutely true, and what I like about Patrick is he realizes he doesn't have to be a pig, and he can allow other players to make some money, and in order for him to do what he has an opportunity to do, and to arguably be the greatest player ever at that position, he needs other good players around him. And he has a real chance to do that. And by taking a little bit less and letting other guys get paid, it doesn't affect his life one bit. He does 8 million ads, so he's going to be able to make up all the money from that.
He doesn't do that many ads.
It's literally
he should probably do
every
more ads.
time you turn on the TV.
He does
he's
Oakley.
there. I think there's 20 different products.
The commercial, the insurance company has a big marketing buy. State Farm.
I did the research last season. It's about 19 different products the last time I checked. So we're probably in the 25.
Are you just anti-advert? Because I know you didn't like when Baker did, because Baker wasn't winning. You didn't like Baker doing the ads.
I am 100% behind Patrick Mahomes doing what he's doing in the sense that he's allowing other players to help him chase something that's really special there. Yeah. And he's a good guy. He could be greedy and it's selfish. He's a good person who's an opportunity to do something great with all the people.
And it became one leads to the other. It's also one of the reasons that Kelsey has not at any point since Patrick's been there been like, this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
But that's his position, and as a whole,
what's he making, like 14?
He's the highest paid tight end, but it's half of what the top receivers make.
That's nuts.
And
but you're right, that unselfish attitude.
But if Mahomes was like, you have to pay me the most, then I think Travis would be like, okay, well, me too.
And
you know what I mean?
It's that unselfish attitude that's given him a chance to chase a third ring.
Yeah. They already got the third.
The third in a row.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying they're on the verge of doing something that nobody else has been able to do, and you can't do that when you got selfish people.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Kelsey needs to get paid a little bit more. Okay. All these wide receivers are holding out.
Well, I agree, and I understand that.
Okay,
but he 14. But also the Kelsey thing is a separate discussion. For other tight ends, they need Kelsey to get paid more than Kelsey needs it, because he caps the market. You know what I mean? Like, so the tight end market has been
he's a
depressed.
bad teammate to tight end university.
Well, maybe that's why he does tight end university. He tries to help him out in that regard.
I'm suppressing your income.
But I'll help you with these drills. I'll share my knowledge.
Stephen Jones, we'll move on to the Cowboys. Stephen Jones saying that Dak and CeeDee Lamb have both been offered new deals, but so far, no go. Steven saying, I would characterize both conversations as upbeat. Well, that's good news. Nick, how do you see this playing out?
I mean, the Cowboys have just butchered this beyond comprehension. If they want them both back, they've butchered this. Because I want to show you the 5 highest paid receivers on an average annual value basis. And guess what? The only name on that list 5 months ago was Tyreek. So the market has been reset. What about quarterbacks? How's that market going? The 5 highest paid quarterbacks. The only name on that list was Brou. So if you actually wanted CeeDee and Dak back, and you knew it, then waiting for more leaves to fall, as the Cowboys put it, has only cost them massively. Because maybe, I don't think it would have worked, maybe they had an argument, Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl. That argument goes away when Trevor's alongside him. Maybe you have an argument about, okay, you want CeeDee, you want to be the highest paid receiver. Okay, Tyreek makes 30, we can give you 30. But when AJ gets 32, and then Justin Jefferson gets 35, you've blown it. And so what I see happening, Brou, is I think CeeDee's getting a deal and Dak is not. And so I think CeeDee is getting a deal, and it's going to be wasted time because they're going to cost themselves money. He's not going to agree to a team-friendly deal. He's going to get what he wants, Justin Jefferson money, and Dak's going to play out this year and then go play for somebody else. That's what I think.
But I don't know how they do CeeDee without doing Dak. I mean, Dak right now costs $55 million against cap. The Cowboys are 21st in cap space. They've only got $11 million available. If Dak isn't there next year, what is it, $96 million over the next 2 years?
Well, this year and next year. Next year is $40 million dead if he's not there.
Yeah, so you've got this incredible amount of dead money. You've got a gigantic cap charge this year. You need cap space. He's got them both ways. They need the space this year. They don't want to carry the dead money next year. How do you get to CeeDee? And then Micah, I mean, where does he come in the mix? How do you get to any of those places without getting Dak off the board?
I think they're going to sign both guys before the season starts, CeeDee and Dak.
Well, then why haven't they done it?
The same reason I think Jerry has done this repeatedly. Waited too long, and then you end up overpaying for guys.
Can I pose a a weird theory. Maybe Jerry doesn't want a deal. Maybe Jerry wants to be the guy who gives out these massive contracts. I've got a massive stadium. I've got a massive billboard. Remember he wanted to pay Zeke all like.
Well, why haven't they done that yet?
Maybe we've all misinterpreted the leaves to fall. He's like, yeah, you know what? I want my guys to be the highest paid. I'm trying to come up with a reasonable theory of like, you know what? I want to spend on my guys and reward my guys.
$60 million right now and probably get it done.
I think they are skeptical about paying Dak, and I think CeeDee is the Justin Jefferson thing screwed him up a bit. If there was going to be a player to trade of Dak, CeeDee, and Micah, Dak has a no trade clause, so you don't even have the choice there. CeeDee, there's precedent for trading the wide receiver before the big second deal. We've seen a bunch of teams do it. But that time would have been before the draft.
Yeah.
And the thing with Micah's the draft class after CeeDee, so theoretically you have an extra year, you know what I mean, to get Micah's done. Micah's just been playing for 3 years, CeeDee for 4. CeeDee's going to get done, I believe. I think Dak, they have real reservations about whether or not they can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott as their quarterback, because they know they're not going to have more talent than they did this past year. And this past year, he played his worst game of the season in the biggest spot of the season. That's why I don't think they have the deal.
So you think the offer on the table that they had
was a deal that they knew he wouldn't take?
Well, I do agree that there's probably reservations about Dak, and they probably thought, okay, we're in the final year with the head coach, we're in the final year with the quarterback, we can play this hand out and see where it goes, not anticipating that CeeDee would potentially hold out and force their hand. So this could have changed the whole complexion of things by the fact that he's saying, I'm not sure, I'm not gonna perform unless I get paid. They might have thought, okay, we can go as is, play out the year, and then reset the clock next year. But now that's changed because of CeeDee's perspective on it.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to go?
No, go ahead.
This is our Brou tee-up.
Yeah, no, I know. Go ahead.
Okay. Finally, Brou, this story popped up last week.
We tried to FaceTime you. You didn't.
Yeah. You were on vacation.
My phone was
Our
off.
immediate reaction was, I wish Brou heard this, so we brought it back. Jerry Jones on dealing with critiques. I realize all the criticism and I understand it. As a matter of fact, I try to stir it up. And I have since I got here. That's good. Be relevant. It works. That's the John Machota. Brou, your reaction.
Folks, this is the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. The problem is not personnel. They got great personnel.
True.
The problem is not an eye for talent. I'll give Stephen Jones and those guys credit. They draft well. The problem is that their priorities are out of order. The goal, he just said it. It works. How does it work when you haven't won a Super Bowl in nearly 30 years? But it works because they are relevant. And the goal of the Cowboys, and I've been saying it from the rooftops, finally people are starting to catch on. The goal for the Cowboys is to be in the news, to be discussed on FS1 and ESPN and all the networks in the A block, all right, to be relevant, because that's working. That is working like crazy. But in football, it is not working, all right? And so for him to say it works shows you. That is proof, Exhibit A, that what number one priority is to be relevant and to be discussed and talked about, and the number two is football. And I've been saying that forever. So you want a grade?
Yes, please.
Well, here's a few hints. It's Jerry Jones's fault that they have not won a Super Bowl in 30
His
years.
fault. Got it.
The Cowboys have foolhardy priorities.
Okay.
And the Cowboys finally are fake and fraudulent contenders. That leaves an F. That's the only grade I can give this quote.
Training camp.
Because it ain't about being a drama or a soap opera, Jerry Jones. It's about winning football games.
Also an F.
So it doesn't work. Yeah, there's an F for that too. That's all I can get.
That delivered.
No, I mean, it was delivered. That's why we tried to get you on FaceTime, but I'm glad, you know what, I'm glad
Didn't
we
have
did.
that
in person.
Do you carry the placards on vacation?
No, I needed them.
I do think this is a wild quote. And I thought it when we've heard it on Friday, which is Jerry just flatly saying, yeah, because, I mean, Brou, as much as it pains me to say, is correct about this.
He says it all the time. You proceeded with it.
Yeah.
Happens a lot. That Jerry is, saying on Twitter, they would be like, he's saying the quiet part out loud. Tries to start up, tries to be relevant. And that the marketing and it does work in this regard. They're worth $9 billion. They're the most valuable team, according to Forbes, in American sports. More than the Yankees, more than the Lakers, more than the Patriots, who have 6 Super Bowls, more than the Chiefs, who soon have 9 or 10. And so it works. What is, I think, dispiriting for Cowboys fans, Coach, is this. Despite that valuation, this year, going into this season, the Cowboys are dead last in cash spending in the NFL. So it's a lot, there's not a lot of trickle down in the Cowboys' economics. There's still a lot of, up at the top, the franchise is worth a lot, but it's not like he can be like, I do all this because then I can spend more money on the players because I make more money. That, up to this point, has not been how they've been doing business as of late.
See, I think I'm way more cynical than you guys are. I think this is a function of they didn't do what they said they were going to do this offseason. Things haven't gone the way that they hoped to. And then he's spinning around saying, oh, I meant to do that.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is all part of my big plan. I fooled you all. No, you didn't achieve the objectives you wanted to achieve. You didn't go all in this offseason. You didn't make the moves that you promised us you were going to make. And now you're saying, but it's all part of my big plan. I don't think it is. I think you didn't deliver, and now you're trying to tell us that I meant to do that.
You know what?
I don't think so.
I take back what I said about Brou being right. I agree with Coach.
Yeah, Coach might have that one.
I think Coach nailed it.
Still an F, though. The grade stands.
Absolute F.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.